What's up, guys? It's Sam here. Just want to say what's up and talk about getting an Adderall prescription legally. But before I do that, I wanted to just talk about Adderall for a fraction of a second. Adderall, I just did a video on modafinil for my microdosing, so if you want to check that out, it's the last video that should have uploaded. And it's similar to that, but I personally like Adderall way better. I like Adderall better than Ritalin as well, or there's another one that starts with a C. I believe it's, I don't fucking remember, but it starts with a C. Adderall is by far my favorite to take. I mean, it's legal like cocaine or heroin, so it's just costs a ridiculous amount versus actual heroin, right? Because you can sell it as a pharmaceutical. That's besides the point. Now, the person I'm about to talk about is a hypothetical person, right? Because you definitely wouldn't want to do this, and I wouldn't say that something like this is probably super ethical to do or the right thing to do. I may have tried something like this when I was younger, but I can't remember, right? It was so long ago. So this is more of a hypothetical person. But if you wanted to get a prescription for Adderall, you could go to your doctor. Well, assuming you have a insurance here in the United States. I'm not sure how it works elsewhere around the world. Go to the doctor and, well, first of all, if you want a prescription for Adderall, what are the symptoms it might be? Like, start here and then work back into it, right? So what are the symptoms that you would kind of like want to get taken care of from Adderall? So Google that, see some of the things that Adderall helps with. Okay. How do those, right, maybe focus or being like awake or you know what I mean? Your life is busy and you want the extra energy to really focus at work because your performance has come down. What you have to tell the story, right? And it has to be accurate. Don't lie, because we don't want to do that. But use the things that Adderall is good for to tell that story about your life in an honest way, right? So if you're having trouble focusing, then you're being honest about it. You don't need to lie or do anything that you shouldn't do. I'm making this awesome quesadilla with these raw quesadilla tortillas. They're so tasty. So first of all, do that. Then step 2 is create that story of what is going to be helping with. And remember, don't lie. Don't do anything dishonest. And then call your doctor and make an appointment for, let them know, hey, somebody told you about this something called Adderall, and you have been trying to focus at work and your performance has been slipping. If your performance has been slipping, like if your performance is not slipping, then don't. Like if you're forgetting to do shit at work, then maybe that's what it is. Like, be honest about it, but just tell that story of whatever it is, right? And then tell that to your doctor and be like, hey, one of my friends had told me, somebody, like I told you about it, right? Somebody told me about Adderall, and they said, and it was good for some things, and I looked it up. I think it would help me with blah, 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 walk through your story of whatever it is. I want to know what I would have to do to try to see if I could get a prescription for that to help me with these areas of my life that I wanted to help with, and see what he says. And he might be like, no, and super conservative, and that's fine, and then you just call another doctor, and then you call another doctor, and then you call another doctor. There's plenty of fucking doctors around, and there's plenty of ones that are not very ethical. Not saying, right, we're not doing anything illegal. We want to do this legally. That's the whole fucking point of the video, right? But just call a different doctor. And what more than likely he'll do is say that you have to come in for an appointment. But if he's your primary care doctor, at least from my experience back in the day when I did it, it wasn't I had to go in to get a referral to a psychiatrist or psychologist or something along those lines. And then, so you get the referral, and then you might want to take a few seconds and do some Googling about the questions they might ask you, or the tests they might have you submitted to, so that way you're passing these tests to the degree that you want to, right? Like, my definition of passing a test might be different than yours, just like the psychiatrist might have a different, or psychologist might have a different definition of you passing a test than you have yourself, right? Like, your definition of passing a test might be to get the result that you want. Theirs might be to be normal like other people. So you figure that out. You don't want, remember, like, you got to figure out so that you're honest across the board. You don't want to not be honest, and look up some of these things that they might ask you and some of the tests that they might ask you to do, and figure out what would be getting you the result that you want, so you can be honest, right? Like, your definition might be different than the psychologist, but if your definition is what is honest for you, then do it that way. If that's not too confusing, if that makes sense. And then go through these tests and talk with that person, and then they will more than likely give you a prescription. And if that person doesn't, then you just go on to the next. There's plenty of fucking doctors out there here in the United States. So if one doesn't want to, then if you were trying to raise money for your business, like, you go on to the next one. That one doesn't want to do it, then you pick up the phone and you dial and you call again to a different doctor, and then a different one, and just keep trying. And it's not that challenging. So I did that to help me with my my focus at work, and in school, and in grad school, and the other things that I was studying for when I was in grad school. And I failed the psychiatrist tests for her definition, but for my definition, it was accurate. I passed the test because that's what the test was trying to achieve for me. So hope this is helpful. Not too confusing, but I didn't want to. You have to do it in an honest way. Like, I don't want anybody to do anything that's not honest or outside of the law, right? You want to play within the parameters of the game that you chose to play in, whether it's like the country or the laws of the state or wherever you live in. Play within those, right? Because that's where you're living, or whatever the case is. So you have to do things legally, do it legally, and be honest about it. That's all. It just might take a little bit of resourcefulness and creativity to get through that process. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, make sure you leave them down below in the comments. Happy to help out, or reach out to me on Instagram. Link will be in the description. And make sure you press that thumbs up button, right, while you're giving me a peek check. Talk to you soon. Peace.